Bonjour mes amis, hi guys, last night in Geneva we got to see live the ceremony of the GPHG Awards 2023. Was a great show. Being French speaking, it was a lot more fun for me as I could understand the jokes of Edouard Baird, the presenter. There were some emotional moments and lots of beautiful watches. Of course, very difficult for the jury in many categories to choose. Do they reward artisanal work, pieces made in very low production? Do they reward young people or more established brands? It's all very subjective, and I think all the nominees deserved to win. Nevertheless, the grand prize, l'Aiguille d'Or, went to Audemars Piguet, which had many watches nominated in many categories, and they had to wait the very last moment. It is the goodbye of the outgoing CEO, so quite emotional for him as well. The watch itself is the code 1159, Ultra Complication Universelle, packing more than ever, tons of complications. The RD number 4, an impressive piece, and I think in that category it really was many steps above the competition. The Rudi Silva was very interesting in the way it works. Also the JPEG. Olens got a prize themselves for the innovation, so they didn't lose totally. Jacob & Co. and Louis Vuitton probably a bit too crazy, so Audemars Piguet was perhaps the obvious choice in that category. Moving on to the chronographs, and there were let's say 5 really impressive pieces, and then the Tag Heuer Skipper, which is more for the looks, but also more affordable than for the complication of the chronograph itself. And in this case, the jury decided to give the prize to two young watchmakers, Peterman and Beda, for their chronograph Rattrapante, which enrolled the expertise of many manufacturing partners, artisans from Switzerland and around. And it's a theme that went through the whole show as well, is that most of these watches are the result of the collaboration with in the Swiss tradition with whoever can make the best parts to put in those watches, and that includes AP as well. Anyway, the best chronograph, Peterman Beda Rattrapante. This one was one of the standout, but of course only 10 have been or will be made. Will they do full production? I don't know. It's a very young watchmakers, brand new brand. It was competing against the incredible Agenograph of Agenor, which you can find in the Singer watch nominated here. And you had heavyweights, Audemars Piguet with a flying tourbillon chronograph. You had the Bethune DB8 and the new monster from Grand Seiko, the Tentagraph. So you can see how subjective it is, obviously, in terms of the beauty, bringing something new. I think, yeah, indeed, Peterman Beda really did wonderful with this Rattrapante, the split-second chronograph. I loved it as well. The other, and maybe the main obvious darling of the GPHG show, which was taken on the road, and I got to see all these watches personally in Hong Kong. It was a beautiful expo, and thanks again for all the people who put it together. It was really well made. It was a Simon Brett, another young watchmaker, brand new brand, another watchmaker who puts forward the artisanal, the craftsmanship of Switzerland and all its partners. Obviously, Simon doesn't make all the parts of this watch himself. So this is the Chronomètre Artisan. In terms, again, of the beauty of the presentation, it is the one that caught the eye of everyone, and the jury indeed decided to award it the prize. This one was the let me get to it properly. The horological revelation. So some of the prizes, the big prizes, were separated in two. So this one was the revelation, and I think it is appropriate. It was in the same category as the other men's watches. You had heavy hitters, Revdet RGP, you have Ferdinand Berthoud, which we we'll see in a second, got the prize for the chronometry. We're coming to that. There was the Bethune AP with the star wheel that people like a lot. And there was, of course, a Parmigiani Fleurier. But Simon Brett, that was really the one that won the hearts for the spirit, for the beauty, the artisanal work that was put into it. And it was obvious that it would get a prize. But it is not that chronometre which got the chronometry prize. That one was for a more established brand, beautiful, maybe the highest end watch you can buy these days. It is a Ferdinand Berthoud with the chronometre FB3 SPC, superlative in the finishing, not as appealing visually, I think. But this prize was for the performance, the chronometric performance, and congratulations to Ferdinand Berthoud, of course. Now, as I mentioned before, Olance got the Innovation Prize, and I think it is very well deserved and appropriate. I've shown you Olance watches on the channel. While I appreciate the innovation in them, it's not something that I would want to put on my wrist personally. In this case here, it's a brand new way of displaying the hour. It is jumping around a sphere. Beautiful watch. Now, in the men's complication, the winner is the famous and well-loved independent Kari Voutilainen, who's known for great finishing, and indeed front and back everything is beautiful here. The guilloche is handmade. It is a world timer, but he was competing with watches that I think were a lot more involved in terms of the complication. You had the AP or concept split second chronograph with a large date. You have a Beauvais 1822. We'll talk again about Beauvais in a second. The Piaget, I think, perpetual calendar ultra thin is really the most beautiful of their polo. You have the interesting minuteur rattrapante of Parmigiani Fleurier, slightly useless complication. I would rank that below the world timer. And then you had the RTA Purity Tourbillon Chameleon, which changes color, which is something more interesting. It's not really about the complication itself, but still you have a tourbillon. I would have gone for Beauvais. I think it marries beauty and complication. Actually, the favorite watch for me to wear in this category would have been the Piaget. I didn't like at all the Voutilainen, and Kari himself said that the watch might be ugly to some and beautiful for others. But anyway, congratulations to Voutilainen. I kind of feel like he got the award because he deserved an award more than for this watch. That's my own opinion. I don't know, the jury thought differently apparently. Now let's take a breather with watches that we can actually afford in the under 2,000 Swiss franc category, the challenge category. The winner is a watch that I told you when I presented the watches from the GPHG show. I was very surprised by. It's the Raymond Weil brand. We don't get to talk about much, but it is a family brand. It is a Geneva brand, and I really like this millésime automatic small seconds. It totally deserved to win. I also like the timeless Swiss watch, which I had presented to you on the channel, thanks to an independent watcher, by the way. I thought that one had a good chance. Nomos, always nice, but it's not something new. The Seiko, I have the same, but I didn't think it deserved to win. Kurono, I don't like it. Studio Underdog, funny, but the Raymond Weil really was the standout in person for me, and something you should look into. I would love to wear that watch myself. So slightly more expensive, the Petite Aiguille category. That's really the one I think most interesting for most of us with a reasonable budget to get something quite special. And I think the fight here was between the Christopher Ward Bel Canto and Habring 2 Chrono Felix top second, which I liked a lot, but it's the Christopher Ward Bel Canto, and I think it is well deserved. They bring at this price point something really exciting with the Bel Canto, and I think all the owners are very happy, and they worked hard on this one. I don't like all the Christopher Ward watches, but this is at least something really exciting, something really new. Of course, in the category, you also had to fight off Tudor, Masina Lab, and Bulgari, and the Louis Erard collaboration with Chaikin for the regulator, which I own, but yeah, I think the jury did well to reward the Bel Canto. Now, one of the most subjective category, and you had big differences in the price ranges, was the sports category. My favorite, I think, was the Chopard with the Cadence 8 Hertz. That one in person was fantastic, much beautiful than in pictures. And in the category, you had an incredible Grönefeld, beautiful movement. You had the new IWC Ingenieur, which I thought looked fantastic in the room of the GPHG presentation. You had a TAC flyback chronometer, Doxa, you know, a favorite of divers. But the winner, the prize for the sports went to the Tudor Pelagos 39, which is, you know, an amazing manufacturing feat, a beautiful product, a chronometer grade 39 millimeter watch that everybody can love, and maybe that's why it won the prize. My favorite was definitely the Chopard, and at a more affordable price would have been the IWC. In the iconic category, the winner was the Freak. I think it's well deserved. As the category name suggests, it's watches that we know well. We have the Tag Heuer chronograph, the new version, very cool, a Breitling Navi timer. The Chopard 1816, you know, I love the new version with a salmon dial. We had AP offshore, and the new version, of course, of the IWC Ingenieur. Yeah, I think the Freak deserved at some point to get this award. It's very innovative. It's a crazy watch, and well deserved victory in this category. I think it was the most exciting of the icons. Now, who doesn't love a beautiful tourbillon, especially when you can't see it? Yes, it's the one that doesn't show it, the Laurent Ferrier that won it. I have a profound dislike for this Grand Sport model, but anyway, maybe it's the Salmon dial that conquered the hearts of the jury. You had in the same category the very elegant Parmigiani Fleurier, another one, Tonda. Even more elegant, I think, the ultra-thin tourbillon gold of Arnold and Son. I really love that watch. You have the extravagant, beautiful Virtuoso 11 by Beauvais. And then you had a bit crazy HYT and the Bulgari. Laurent Ferrier won it, and Laurent Ferrier, I should say, and his manufacturing partners. Yeah, there you go, to each his own. But I was really glad to see Beauvais get the recognition they deserve in the calendar and astronomy category for the Recital 20 Asterium. Just a fantastic piece to discover in person. In the category, you had a great Chinese calendar, again in the Tonda PF format by Parmigiani Fleurier. So many of those. You had a Masina Lab collaboration with Habring, Piaget again. Polo, IWC had the classic perpetual calendar in the Top Gun format, and the other darling, I think, of the public was the Felipe Pikulik, well-loved watchmaker with the Moon Phase 1. But I think it was quite obvious that the Beauvais was on a different planet from the rest, if you can pardon me this pun. Now, artistic crafts were really at the forefront of the GPHG 2023, and the winner here really deserved it. The Piaget Altiplano Métier d'Art Ondulata really rewards very close viewing, beautiful textures on this watch, and everything was wonderful in this category. The Anderson Genève, Sven Anderson, got a sort of an achievement award for his work as an independent. Louis Moinet, the Savannah Tourbillon Tiger, quite interesting in this category as well. You had another Rodi Silva, Van Cleef and Arpels, and Sarpaneva, Naki Sarpaneva. I shared with you one video thanks to Independent Watcher. Once again, I want to thank him. And he was actually, Benjamin, one of the members of the international jury. All right, moving on with the ladies category, and Christian Dior got the prize for the ladies complication. It's a mini automaton on the watch, and I think automatons might come back as people look for something different. In this category, you had Louis Vuitton, very colorful. Gucci timepieces, quite interesting with the planetarium, with the diamonds watch. I think it's interesting to see Gucci getting into the high-end timepiece business. Anderson Geneve had another version in collaboration with Benjamin Chi, High Horology, of their Arctic Sunrise. Well, that's the one. That's what this watch was called. A beautiful watch. Chopard was there as well. I think my favorite maybe was actually the IWC Portofino. I mean, to wear. My wife would not want to wear any of the other watches. Maybe the Anderson, but the IWC Perpetual Calendar, just beautiful, sublime piece. Moving on with the Lepe, which won the prize here for the mechanical clock, and Maison Alcé also won a prize. Very cool devices, and clocks indeed are coming back to the forefront. I think a lot of people who love watches don't necessarily want to have them on the wrist all the time, or would like to have one on the wrist and one on the desk at the office, and that one was indeed quite sublime. Now another ladies category. This one is the jewelry, Bulgari, Chopard, Damiani, Piaget, Gucci again, and Van Cleef. It is a Bulgari, the Serpenti, Cleopatra that won it. I can't really tell you which one was my favorite. I quite like the animation of the Gucci watch once again, but the Bulgari is the winner. Now going to the ladies' watches, Piaget won it. I really loved the Van Cleef and Arpels. The Beauregard was beautiful, and lots of beautiful crafts again from Hermes, Arnold & Son, and XRB. You can revisit those in my videos of the GPHG, and watch again all the details on the website of the GPHG. I think this year was great, but let's not forget that we didn't see anything from the big names, Rolex, Patek, Omega, Longines, Breguet, Lang, GLC, Vacheron Constantin, FP Journe, Zenith. Many brands were not present at this big event, so sort of incomplete, but at the same time we get to see things, brand new things, reward young watchmakers. There's a lot of enthusiasm at a time where the watch market is changing a little bit again, coming down from its highs, which have benefited many brands, the big brands, the small brands, the independents. Might get a bit tougher in the coming year, but it was a great event, and I hope you've enjoyed it as well as I have. Congrats to all the nominees and all the winners, of course. Bye bye, guys.